apples from the Great Depression. Yes, folks, fall has fallen, and it can't get up. So nothing quite says autumn like an apple, except pumpkin or seasonal depression. First, we core the apples. I'm using Honeycrisp apples, but you guys can use whatever you want except for the red mushy ones. Those are for psychopaths. Make sure not to go all the way through. For the filling, we need some sugar. And if they can be afforded, oats. Living large tonight, boys. We got oats. I'm not making fun of the Great Depression. I am making fun of the Great Depression. Into a baking dish. Pat of butter on top. And finally, a bit of water. $3.50 for a half hour. So they look dead, but my house smells amazing. I would bake this just for the smell. Febreze who? Now how do I eat it? Fall, winter, fireplaces, beautiful. The very definition of simple yet brilliant. A ration cake from World War II. So it's the 40s and we don't have any butter, sugar, milk, or eggs, and we need to make a cake. What do? Panic! Into a saucepan goes 2 cups of raisins plus 1 cup of water. In the interests of civil defense, we look to raisins to substitute our sugar. So you want me to boil raisins? It ain't easy being a patriot. Fire! This is awful. A half cup of lard. Just give up. Don't make a cake. A whole cup of molasses.
No, this is not worth it. It's not.
Looks like barbecue sauce. Smells of death. For the dry ingredients, we need 1.5 cups of flour. Half teaspoon of baking soda. And the only spice we get is cloves. Cloves. It's always the cloves. Mash the raisins. It's been nice knowing you. This would make me enlist.
Get in. Get off.
$3.25 for an hour.
Oh no. Oh no, ma'am. Just no. Oh.
Apple cider cookies from 1973. Yes, we humans have been baking with apples since the first time somebody baked with an apple. And today we're going to be continuing that tradition. Start with 3/4 of a cup of butter. That's a lot of butter, Miss Pillsbury. 1 cup of brown sugar. Half cup of sugar. Full disclosure, I picked this recipe because it looked good.
I don't always like to destroy my taste buds, you know. But I go,
1 egg. Now for 2 cups of flour. Pinch of salt. Teaspoon of floof soda. That's baking soda. And apple pie spice. What's apple pie spice? Let me tell you. Half teaspoon of nutmeg, allspice, ground ginger, ground cardamom, and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Oh dear. It's gonna be a little cinnamon heavy. Now we finally chop an apple of our choosing. I chose this one. To die. 1/4 cup of apple cider.
get in.
It's not November yet, so we're cleared for some optional nuts.
Mix. Chill time.
$3.50 for about 17 minutes. Hello, little ones. It's time for icing. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. 1/3 cup of cider. Then we add powdered sugar until it's thick.
Whoa.
Oh yes, you will love these. They are the taste of the season. Hardtack from the Civil War. Yes, whether it's expeditions, famines, wars, or student debt, this is what we bake in times of crisis. We start with 2 cups of flour, half cup of water. I bet you thought there was more. Nope, there's not. That's right, this is the most basic recipe in the history of history. Talk about stretching $1. This is some spandex level stretch. Oh, you're gluten-free? Sorry, all we have is gluten. We cut them into sad little squares. Time to poke some holes. You know, these kind of look like graham crackers. If graham crackers were made out of drywall. We then bake these boys at 250 for upwards of 4 hours to remove most of the moisture. And that's how these will last longer than even the most talented of men. These are roof tiles. Well, this is a first. Y'all really said Ford tough. Just aggressive. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It's bread. Danger bread, but bread. Now, of course, you shouldn't eat them dry, but the taste is the same. A millionaire pie from 59. I tell you, I could never be a millionaire. I'd end up buying like 3,000 Pop-Tarts. Or ducks. I quite like ducks. To 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs, we add a 1/4 cup of sugar. Half a cup of melted butter. So begins the graham cracker crust. Uniformity is of utmost importance. Blind bake the shell at 375 for 15 minutes. Blind baking is when you put the shell in the oven with 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Pound of crushed pineapple. Drained, of course. Cup of sweetened coconut. How much sugar do you want in this? A jar of chopped maraschino cherries. A lot. Beep at me one more time. So
sticky. How are they so red?
In go the cherries and a quarter of the juice. Half cup of chopped pecans.
Juice of a lemon.
Yee. To top it off, in goes a tub of Cool Whip.
Hope y'all know some dentists.
Good night. Good morning. You are pink.
Whoa, Nelly.
Woo! I say, this is camp. I don't hate it. Over the top, outdated, mid-century camp. Amish lard cakes from 1895. Lard, 100% solid pig fat, a disturbing concept, and we're going to fry a dessert in it. Start with 1.5 cups of sour milk. They mean buttermilk. Full cup of heavy cream. Oh my. 2 eggs.
Oh, this is thick.
1.5 teaspoons of floof soda. Pinch of salt. Add flour until we get a pie dough consistency. I don't know what type of pie dough you're dealing with.
Disturbingly dense.
And now we heat 2 pounds of lard for deep frying.
Pounds.
Just get out of the box, please.
Let's go, big boy. Wait, you didn't tell me what shape they are.
When in doubt,
Triangles. I'm not ready. Just flip. Cooperate. You are... Oh my God. Hello, lard triangle. You were swimming in animal fat. How does it feel?
then we roll them in sugar.
Ooh.
That in my stomach like a bowling ball. The dominant flavor is saturated fat. No spices, just cream and... I have a sudden urge to hibernate. A frozen orange juice pie from 53. Now, I've seldom heard of orange-flavored pies, likely because it's a bad idea, but Betty Crocker doesn't think so.
Pastry.
Hello.
You were misshapen. Stop it.
Then we form this to a pie dish. An 8-inch is preferable.
It sure is, Betty.
8 minutes at 475. Now we dilute our frozen orange juice concentrate with just 1 can of water. What are you looking at? Into a saucepan, a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup cornstarch. Done. 1/2 cup of OJ. Slowly whisking in until boiling. Fire! The yolks of 2 eggs. Temper the eggs. Get back in. After a minute, remove from heat and add 2 tablespoons of butter. Meringue? What are you doing, Betty?
The 2 egg whites. 1/4 cup of sugar. Stiff. Get in.
So the pie's not frozen, is it, Betty?
No, it was just the orange juice.
400 for 10 minutes. Looks a bit sad.
Wow.
It's an orange meringue pie. With really bad oranges. No. A Fiesta Peach Spam Bake from 1954. Yes, folks, Thanksgiving is soon upon us, which means plenty of family drama, so I say why not just cut to the chase, serve this, and make everybody visibly upset. We begin by draining a can of sliced peaches. Save the syrup. Time for Spam. Nothing says the holidays like ambiguous meat.
Please exit.
Now we slice it lengthwise 4 times, but don't go all the way through. Stud the Spam with cloves. Are you joking?
You're not joking. This is ridiculous.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. 2021's been a rough year.
Mercy.
Now we insert the peaches into the Spam.
Open up. Time to receive peaches.
To the 1/4 cup of peach syrup, we add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Are you aware that the syrup is sugar? Now that's just vulgar. Add the peaches. 375 for 35 minutes. Oh dear. Why do I keep doing this? That's not a good laugh, because this tastes like if Christmas gave up. A Spaghetti-O Jello ring from the 60s. Now, I've been unable to confirm whether or not this recipe actually existed in the 60s, not that I particularly want to, but seemingly everybody and their dog has sent me this. Into a saucepan goes a 1/4 cup of tomato soup, 1/4 cup of water. Now 2 packs of gelatin. Wonder what demon will summon today. Fire! Now that this is completely smooth, we remove from heat and add 2 cans of SpaghettiOs. Is life insurance expensive?
Into a bunt.
Good night. Ooh! Did I mention there were sausages? Because there are sausages. I don't want to do it. That is unnatural. It's like a morgue. I need a hug. Corn cookies from 1930. Now, if cornmeal were to end up in my sugar cookie dough, I would consider that a mistake. But these people have done it on purpose. Do you know what that's called? Criminal intent. We begin by creaming a 1/2 cup of margarine with a 1/2 cup of sugar. They say using softened margarine is ideal. No, honey, what's ideal is not using margarine. 1 egg. So far, so good. And then came the cornmeal. Cornmeal in a sugar cookie. What a bright idea. Oh, cornmeal on the floor. I'm gonna start needing blood pressure medication, 3/4 of a cup, and half a cup of flour.
Mixed. Now we form a log. Come on, be a good corn log.
To the icebox.
You are frozen.
And now we roll it in cornmeal.
Cookies.
8 minutes at 375.
Huh? Whoa. This is lovely. It's a sugar cookie with a bachelor's degree. Bravo!
Eggnog from 1895. So eggnog is already one of my favorite things, but homemade is supposedly 10 times better. Oh by gosh, by golly. We start with the yolks of 5 eggies.
Save the whites.
Then we whisk in sugar. Doesn't tell me how much, so I'm gonna use a cup.
It's Christmas.
Yes, I will be calling this eggy nog.
Now we add 2 cups of moo juice and 1 cup of heavy cream to a cauldron. Sorry, my cauldron's in the dishwasher.
Synonym, 4 cloves.
Fire! We're scalding, not boiling. Then we temper the eggs with about half of this mixture.
And then back you go.
Low heat until thick.
Done.
Strain it.
Not today, cloves.
Egg whites.
Come on, time for mixing.
Just a touch of sugar.
Fold.
Nutmeg.
Now, if you're not comfortable with raw egg whites, you can heat this whole mixture back up, but it won't be as fluffy. To the fridge.
Oh, it's thick. More nutmeg.
Oh dear. This has ruined all other eggnog.
Delicious. It's life-changing. It's Christmas.
Christmas crack from the 70s. Now, if it weren't already obvious by the name, this recipe hails from the USA, where it is a Christmas staple. They do things differently around here. We start with a whole sleeve of saltine crackers. I'm guessing that's where the name comes from, which is disappointing. We line these up flat over some good foil. Now into a saucepan goes 1 cup of butter and 1 cup of brown sugar. Fire! We're boiling for 5 minutes.
Bubble, bubble.
Now we pour this over the crackers.
With the saltines. Oh dear.
Then 350 for 7 minutes. As soon as these come out of the oven, we top with a whole bag of chalky chips.
Then spread.
Ooh.
I see what you're working with.
Then you can top this with whatever you want.
I'm gonna use walnuts.
To the fridge.
Done.
Hello. And now we crack the sheet. The name is making a lot more sense now.
Ooh. My goodness.
America, you've done it again.
This is fantastic.
Peppermint patties from 1946. Now, I didn't know that one could make these at home. I thought it was a closely guarded industrial process. But apparently not. Take that, big peppermint. We start with 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk. In goes 1.5 teaspoons of peppermint extract. Be very careful with this. The stuff's stronger than my desire to drop out of college. Slowly add 5 to 5.5 cups of powdered sugar.
Christmas time means sugar time.
You can use a stand mixer. I'm just easily frightened by machinery. Done. Now you might need more or less powdered sugar. You're just looking for a workable dough.
Parchment. More powdered sugar.
Hello, Dolly.
To the freezer. Now over a double boiler, we melt 4 cups of chocolate. Adding to it 2 teaspoons of shortening.
Get off with the spoon.
Fire!
Then once your chocolate is melted and your patties are firm, you take a fork, and then woo! It's a little bit messy.
They don't stop.
To the fridge.
Woo! Yes. Look at that.
You can do that.
10 out of 10. How are these so perfect?
The Christmas fruitcake from 1900. So I've never made a fruitcake, but if you're anything like me, you are one. Start with 1.5 cups of butter and 3 cups of brown sugar, half cup of treacle, and 6 eggies. How big is this cake? 4.5 cups of flour, nutmeg, cloves, allspice, cinnamon, plus 1.5 teaspoons of floof powder.
Get in.
I present to you the fruit. The mix is 8 ounces each of candied orange peel, pineapple, cherries, dried figs, currants, dates, raisins, all soaked in an obscene amount of brandy. Look away, kids. Ooh, that hurts.
It's been festering for a few days.
3 cups of walnuts. This is ridiculous. A lot of fruit, brandy, and nuts. Sounds like a good weekend. 300 for 2 hours.
Done.
Now time for a cheesecloth and more brandy. Well, there goes that. And now we just wait.
Ooh.
I feel like I'm exhuming a body.
Hello. Well, it's very moist.
And very potent. Don't feed too much to Grandpa. He won't make it down the stairs. Love it or hate it, it's the taste of Christmas. And that's quite fine by me.